This course is Introduction to Philippine Criminal Justice System.
Hi, it's me again. I hope you already know me. This lesson is part of your prelims topics. I hope you are still good. So, let us start.
We are on our second module, Philippine Criminal Justice System. To start with, Lesson 1, Vision, Mission, Objectives, and Strategies. In this lesson, you will identify the vision, mission, objectives, and strategies of our criminal justice system and each of the pillars.
At the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the vision, mission, objectives, and strategies of the criminal justice system and its pillars.
In all our lessons, I have some few reminders. First, you need to stay focused. Listen to the lesson and understand what is the lecture all about. The second reminder is, you need to have your pen, paper, and module ready. Because one of the most effective ways in order to grasp knowledge is to take down notes. I am not telling you to write it all down, but you need to focus on the main idea, as well as it will serve as an aid in reviewing your lessons. And the third reminder is, if you have any questions, you can post it in our group or in our educational platform. These are all the contents of the presentation. It has the lesson, learning objectives, the discussion, learning activity, learning assessment, and learning sources.
Are you ready? By clicking the button, let's start. The central purpose of the criminal justice system is to deliver an efficient, effective, accountable, and fair justice process for the public. The purpose of the criminal justice system is to process those who have been accused of criminal activities. It should therefore not be just to arrest, prosecute, and punish criminals. The system as a whole should have a greater purpose, to prevent crime and to create a peaceful law-abiding society. Before we proceed in identifying the vision, mission, goals, and objectives of the CJS and its pillars, let us define first the word vision. So what is a vision? A vision is a clear, comprehensive photograph of an organization at some point in the future. It provides direction because it describes what the organization needs to be like to be successful within the future. So why do we have a vision? As Yogi Berra says, if you don't know where you are going, you probably aren't going to get there. Identifying where you want to go in relation to where you are is the key to identifying those areas where you need to improve. What about a mission? An organization's mission can be defined as an operation intended to carry out specific program objectives, a higher calling or meaning, or a reason for being. Often, this is the reason the company or the organization was first created, to fill a need in the marketplace or in the society. A concise statement of business strategy developed from the customer's perspective, and it should be aligned with the organization's vision. The mission should answer three key questions. What is that we do? How do we do it? For whom are we doing it? So let us be clear, vision and mission are different. A mission statement concerns what an enterprise is all about. A vision statement is what the enterprise wants to become. Now let us define what is goal, objective, and strategies. A goal is what you'd like to accomplish. It's the big idea. It presents itself as a broad statement of what your organization hopes to achieve. It is more qualitative than quantitative in nature, and goals are supported by measurable objectives. Objectives, the most important thing to know about objectives is that they are measurable. Strategies, on the other hand, One person defines a strategy as why you do something, another as an overall approach or method for attaining results. Strategies should answer the question, how do we accomplish our objectives? And strategies define a general approach or method. Now let us study this diagram. The vision is your North Star and paints a tangible portrait of where your organization ultimately wants to get in the future. The mission explains at a very high level what your organization does or your purpose. In order to reach the vision, and the core values describe the way the organization should behave as it carries out its mission. Goals are high-level milestones that must be achieved to make reaching the vision possible, and objectives are the more detailed milestones that are required to reach a goal. Activities are the things people in the organization must do to meet their objectives and subsequently their goals. Strategies are more complex than a stand-alone decision or a goal. A strategy brings together a coherent set of analyses, challenges, policies, positioning statements, and activities to reach a specific goal or the overall vision. The main objectives of the system are justice for all and elimination of crime from our society. Another main objective is the maintenance of order. In addition to the two main objectives, the following are the sub-objectives. We have preventing the commission of crime, enforcing the law, removing dangerous persons from the community, protecting life, individual rights and properties, deterring people from indulging in criminal activities, determining the guilt or innocence or guilt of the accused, investigating, apprehending, prosecuting, and imposing penalty upon those who cannot be deterred from violating the rules of society, and rehabilitating offenders and returning them to the community as law-abiding and useful citizens of the society. For the vision of CJS, CJS vision is for safe, peaceful, and progressive Philippines through partnership and shared responsibility in attaining peace and order. For the law enforcement, the vision is well-coordinated, professional, dynamic, and highly motivated law enforcers in partnership with the community for a safe, peaceful, and progressive Philippines. Prosecution, a maximized prosecutorial capability to reduce criminality for a peaceful and progressive Philippine society. Courts, a court system which is purely independent, just, and speedy to the end that no innocent person is convicted and no guilty man is acquitted. Corrections, a correctional system that is modern, humane, responsive, and integrated. Community, a united, proactive community working for peace and order in partnership with the other pillars of the criminal justice system. The CJS mission, on the other hand, is to promote peace and order through active community involvement and fair and dispensation of justice. For the law enforcement, to enforce the law, prevents and controls crime, maintains peace and order, and ensures public safety and internal security with the active participation of the community. Prosecution, to provide a highly professionalized, properly motivated, and people-oriented prosecution service, conduct preliminary complaints, and prosecute criminal action to ensure fair, speedy, and inexpensive prosecution of cases. Courts, to promote respect for and obedience to the rule of law through proper and efficient administration of justice. Correction, rehabilitates and reintegrates offenders into the mainstream of society and upholds their human rights and dignity through speedy legal and administrative processes and provision of scientific and spiritual programs. And community, mobilizes key sectors of the community in an integrated plan of action to combat crime and promote peace, order, and justice. For the goals of the criminal justice system, we have to protect the members of the society, maintain peace and order, crime prevention, suppression of criminal conduct, review the legality of existing rules and regulations, rehabilitation, and reformation of offenders. For the goals of each pillar, we have for the law enforcement, is to reduce the incidence of crime and crime rate to a socially desirable level, improve crime solution efficiency, maximize linkages with other components of the criminal justice system and international law enforcement agencies, enhance the credibility of law enforcement organizations. For the prosecution, we have an 85% disposition rate of cases under preliminary investigation, a 50% increase in the rate of cases rested by the prosecution in court at the end of the 5-year period. For the court, decides all cases with dispatch in accordance with due process without sacrificing the quality of justice. For the correction, we have actually two, incapacitation and in rehabilitation. So incapacitation, reduction in the rate of escape or jailbreaks among prisoners, reduction in the rate of revocation among probations, reduction in the rate of commitment among parolees or conditional pardonees, reduction in the rate of commitment among youthful offenders. For the rehabilitation, on the other hand, increase in the rate of successful termination from probation, increase in the rate of successful termination of parole, increase in the rate of successful probation among youthful offenders, increase in the rate of payment of civil liability among non-custodial offenders, and reduction in the rate of recidivism in the entire correctional system. For the community, the goals are: barangays shall have attained awareness of the criminal justice system, transform negative beliefs and perception. Criminality shall have been reduced by 75% based on the current level, and develop mechanisms for interactions and communications between community and other pillars of the criminal justice system. For the strategies of criminal justice system, we have information dissemination on the CJS concept, integration of the moral recovery program in all CJS undertakings, strengthening of linkages between and among the 5 pillars of the CJS and the general public, upgrading professionalization among CJS personnel, institutionalization of awards and reward system, promotion of responsible media reporting, amendment or repeal or non-responsive and or archaic, maximization of citizen participation in the maintenance of peace and order. For the law enforcement, the strategies are improvement of recruitment and training programs, adherence to professional ethics and moral values, upgrading of law enforcement capability, replication of pilot-tested projects, organizational development to enhance coordination and organizational effectiveness, promoting efficiency in the management of resource through a system of transparency, active participation of the community in crime prevention solution and control. For the strategies of the prosecution pillar, we have provide adequate staff, equipment, and supplies, provide attractive emoluments and benefits to attract competent lawyers to join the prosecution service, strict screening of prosecutor applicants, management training for prosecutors, enforcement of stricter disciplinary measures, recommend designation of specific courts, exclusive trial and decide criminal case, mandatory pre-trial, more funding of the Witness Protection Security and Benefits Program, more funding for the Victim Compensation Law, closer coordination of the prosecution with law enforcement agencies and the community in evidence gathering, strict adherence to DOJ circular in resulting preliminary investigation of cases within 60 days, actively assist in the training to barangay chairman and lupin members in their conciliation, mediation, and arbitration, work to lessen the load of cases to be filed with prosecution or courts. Continue the training program for non-chemists on dangerous drug identification to meet the need for more expert witness. For the strategies of the court, we have monitoring of performance of judges, continuing adult of court dockets to ensure compliance with the prescribed period within which cases should be tried and decided, continuing revision, amendments, and/or modification of the rule of the court for the purpose of attaining speedy administration of justice, continuing dissemination of information regarding of the courts, continuing training of judges and court personnel, work for the full realization of the constitutional autonomy of the judiciary in order to achieve its true independence, grant awards or recognition to deserving judges and court personnel through the merit system. For the corrections, we have the modernization of the Philippine correctional system. Since we have two types of correction, for the institutional programs, the strategies are establishment of diagnostic centers, specialized correctional institution, work release, prohibition of arrest and detention during holidays and weekends. For the non-institutional programs, halfway homes, community service orders, joint institutional and non-institutional correction institution, moral and spiritual programs, health insurance, sports and recreation, counseling services, prison agri-industries, special service for offenders, dependents, especially the poor and the underprivileged, and psychosocial interventions. And for the community pillar, we have maximized participation of development workers in organizing community fight criminality, promote and support anti-crime watch movements, improve street lighting to make streets safer at night, expand existing anti-drug programs involving the community, provide incentives and recognition for good policemen, prosecutors, judges, etc., promote community-oriented policing system, practice neighborhood watch system, information networking among anti-crime groups, security bulletin expose modus operandi of criminals, disseminate crime prevention tips, retire corrupt, delinquent, and aging judges, police officers, and other government officials, increase mobility by improving or modernizing patrol equipment, study innovations in law enforcement agencies in foreign countries, civilian anti-kidnapping task force, and provide economic growth through cooperative community and people-oriented systems.
And that is the end of our discussion. Let's proceed to the learning activity.
Your assignment will serve as your learning activity. Your assignment for this lesson is posted in your learning management system.
Your learning assessment is the quiz posted in your learning management system. For the references used in the lesson, these are my sources. For the graphics or pictures used in this presentation, these are the internet sources.